Letting go. It's a concept we all struggle with at some point in our lives. Whether it's releasing past regrets, freeing ourselves from anxiety about the future, or simply accepting that we cannot control everything, the art of letting go is crucial for living a peaceful and fulfilling life. But how do we truly master this skill? The ancient Stoics, with their profound and timeless wisdom, offer invaluable insights on how to let go of what doesn't serve us, allowing us to live more freely and harmoniously. In today's video, we're going to delve deep into how Stoicism can guide us in the art of letting go, helping us to embrace the present and find tranquility amidst life's inevitable uncertainties. Number 1. Embrace the present moment. One of the foundational teachings of Stoicism is the importance of living fully in the present moment. The Stoics believed that clinging to the past or worrying about the future prevents us from experiencing life as it unfolds in the here and now. By embracing the present, we free ourselves from the emotional baggage that ties us to what has already happened or what might happen. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and a prominent Stoic philosopher, often reminded himself to focus on the present, understanding that the past is beyond our reach and the future is unpredictable. Only the present is truly within our grasp. By cultivating mindfulness and staying anchored in the moment, we can let go of the heavy chains of regrets and anxieties, allowing ourselves to fully engage with life as it is happening. When we immerse ourselves in the present, we become more attuned to the beauty and richness of each experience. This doesn't mean that we ignore the lessons of the past or neglect our future goals, but rather that we stop allowing them to dominate our thoughts and emotions. For instance, instead of replaying past mistakes in our minds, we can focus on what we can do right now to improve our situation. Similarly, instead of being paralyzed by fear of what might happen tomorrow, we can concentrate on the actions we can take today. By living in the present, we let go of the mental clutter that prevents us from seeing life clearly and enjoying it fully. Number 2. Understand the dichotomy of control. Central to Stoic philosophy is the concept of the dichotomy of control, which teaches us to distinguish between what we can and cannot control. According to Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, the only things truly within our control are our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. Everything else, external events, the opinions of others, the outcomes of our efforts, lies beyond our control. By internalizing this principle, we learn to let go of our attachment to outcomes and the need to control external circumstances. Instead, we can focus on what we can control: our responses, our choices, and our mindset. This shift in focus not only reduces stress, but also empowers us to act more effectively within the sphere of our control. For example, in a difficult situation at work, rather than obsessing over how others might react or whether the outcome will be favorable, we can concentrate on how we perform our tasks, how we communicate, and how we manage our emotions. By doing so, we release ourselves from the burden of worrying about things that are out of our hands, allowing us to approach challenges with a clearer mind and a calmer heart. This perspective is liberating because it frees us from the futile effort of trying to control the uncontrollable and instead allows us to invest our energy where it truly matters. Number 3. Practice negative visualization. Negative visualization is a Stoic exercise where we consciously imagine potential losses or difficulties before they happen. At first glance, this might seem like a pessimistic approach, but it's actually a powerful tool for letting go. By mentally rehearsing the possibility of loss, we prepare ourselves emotionally, reducing the shock and attachment when things don't go as planned. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, suggested that we periodically reflect on the loss of things we cherish, our possessions, our relationships, even our own lives. This isn't about dwelling in negativity, but rather fostering an appreciation for what we have and reminding ourselves that nothing is permanent. By contemplating the impermanence of our circumstances, we become more resilient and less likely to be caught off guard when changes occur. For example, by imagining the possibility of losing a job, we can better prepare ourselves emotionally and practically for such an event, should it occur. This mindset also helps us appreciate the present moment more deeply, as we recognize the transient nature of our current blessings. Rather than taking our loved ones or our possessions for granted, we cherish them more, knowing that they won't last forever. This practice allows us to let go of our attachment to these things, not in a way that diminishes our enjoyment of them, but in a way that frees us from the fear of losing them. Number 4. Accept impermanence. Impermanence is a central theme in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics understood that everything in life is transient: our possessions, our relationships, and our very existence. By accepting this fundamental truth, we learn to let go of our attachment to things that are destined to change or fade away. Marcus Aurelius often meditated on the fleeting nature of life, reminding himself that everything and everyone he cherished would eventually be gone. This wasn't a morbid reflection, but a liberating one. By accepting impermanence, we free ourselves from the fear of loss and the need to cling to what cannot be held forever. Understanding and accepting impermanence helps us navigate life's inevitable changes with grace and composure. When we lose something or someone important to us, the pain is real, but by embracing the Stoic perspective, we can reduce the suffering that comes from resisting this change. We learn to let go, not because we are indifferent, but because we understand that life is a constant flow, and holding on too tightly only leads to unnecessary suffering. For example, when a relationship ends, rather than clinging to what was, we can focus on the lessons learned and the new possibilities that lie ahead. This acceptance allows us to move forward with a lighter heart, unburdened by the weight of trying to hold on to something that has naturally run its course. Number 5. Detach from external validation. The Stoics taught that seeking validation from others is a sure path to dissatisfaction. When we rely on external approval for our sense of worth, we become trapped in a cycle of dependency and anxiety. To master the art of letting go, it's essential to detach from the need for external validation and instead cultivate self-approval. Epictetus emphasized that we should focus on our own actions and judgments, rather than being swayed by the opinions of others. By letting go of the desire for external approval, we gain the freedom to live authentically, guided by our own values and principles rather than the shifting opinions of others. Detaching from external validation is crucial for inner peace and self-empowerment. When we stop caring so much about what others think, we can make decisions that are truly aligned with our own values and beliefs. This doesn't mean we become indifferent to others, but rather that we prioritize our own judgment and integrity over the often fickle opinions of the outside world. For example, if you're passionate about a particular career path that others might not approve of, detaching from their opinions allows you to pursue your goals without the burden of their expectations. By focusing on what truly matters to you, you let go of the need to conform to other standards, which in turn leads to a more fulfilling and authentic life. Number 6. Release the illusion of control. One of the most significant sources of stress and suffering is the illusion that we can control everything in our lives. The Stoics recognized that this illusion is a major obstacle to inner peace. By letting go of the need to control outcomes and trusting in the natural course of events, we can find greater serenity. The Stoics used the metaphor of an archer to illustrate this point. The archer can control his aim, the tension of the bow, and the release of the arrow, but once the arrow is in flight, its path is beyond his control. Similarly, we can control our efforts but not the outcomes. Letting go of the need to control the uncontrollable is a crucial step toward inner peace. Releasing the illusion of control allows us to focus on what we can influence and to accept the rest with equanimity. This doesn't mean we stop striving or caring about results, but that we recognize the limits of our power and accept the uncertainty of outcomes. For example, in a competitive work environment, we might do everything in our power to succeed, but we must also accept that external factors, such as the economy, company decisions, or other people's actions, can influence the final outcome. By letting go of the need to control these external elements, we reduce our stress and cultivate a more peaceful and resilient mindset. This approach helps us to remain calm and composed, even when things don't go as planned, because we know we've done our best, and that's all we can do. Number 7. Cultivate gratitude for the present. When we practice gratitude, we develop a deeper appreciation for the simple things in life that often go unnoticed. Instead of constantly yearning for what we don't have, we begin to see the abundance in what is already ours. The Stoics encouraged us to take a moment each day to reflect on the blessings we currently enjoy: our health, our relationships, even the air we breathe. By focusing on these positives, we let go of the desire for what is beyond our reach or control, and we anchor ourselves in the richness of the present moment. This practice of gratitude helps in reducing the stress that comes from always wanting more or fearing loss. When we are grateful for what we have, we naturally loosen our grip on the things that we fear losing. For example, instead of worrying about the potential loss of a job, we can focus on being grateful for the opportunities and experiences that job has provided us thus far. This mindset doesn't negate the reality of change or loss, but it does empower us to face those possibilities with a sense of peace and appreciation, rather than anxiety and fear. Gratitude, in essence, is about shifting our perspective from lack to abundance, which is a key aspect of letting go. Number 8. Accept the reality of change. Change is an inevitable part of life, and the Stoics understood this better than most. They taught that everything in life is in a constant state of flux. Our circumstances, our relationships, even our bodies. By accepting the reality of change, we prepare ourselves to let go of the past and embrace the new. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the impermanence of life, recognizing that resisting change only leads to unnecessary suffering. Instead of fighting against the tides of change, the Stoics advise us to adapt and flow with them, understanding that change is not only inevitable, but often necessary for growth and renewal. Embracing change means letting go of the attachment to how things used to be or how we think they should be. It requires us to remain flexible and open-minded, ready to adjust our expectations and plans as life unfolds. For instance, when a significant life event occurs, such as moving to a new city or ending a relationship, the Stoic approach would be to acknowledge the difficulty of the transition while also recognizing the opportunities it presents for personal growth. By accepting change as a natural part of life, we free ourselves from the stress and frustration that comes from clinging to the past, and we open ourselves to the possibilities of the future. Number 9. Practice mindful detachment. Mindful detachment is a Stoic practice that involves maintaining a healthy distance between ourselves and our desires, emotions, and possessions. This doesn't mean we become indifferent or apathetic, but rather that we cultivate a sense of inner stability that is not easily shaken by external circumstances. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes from within, and that by detaching ourselves from the things that can change or be taken away, we protect our peace of mind. This practice is particularly useful in times of loss or disappointment, as it allows us to maintain our composure and perspective even when things don't go as planned. Mindful detachment encourages us to enjoy the things we have without becoming overly attached to them. For example, we can appreciate the comforts of a nice home or the joy of a loving relationship, while also recognizing that these things are not the source of our happiness. They are additions to it. By practicing detachment, we prepare ourselves to let go when necessary, without losing our sense of self or our inner peace. This doesn't mean we don't care, but rather that we care wisely and with awareness of the transient nature of all things. Detachment, therefore, is not about rejecting life's pleasures, but about enjoying them with a balanced and resilient heart. Number 10. Align yourself with nature. The Stoics believed in living in harmony with nature, both in the literal sense and in terms of understanding and accepting the natural course of events. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the idea that we are part of a larger, ever-changing universe, and that by aligning ourselves with the natural flow of life, we find peace in acceptance and the strength to let go of resistance. This alignment doesn't mean passivity, but rather a graceful acceptance of what is, combined with the wisdom to act where we can. Aligning with nature involves understanding that life is a series of cycles: birth and death, growth and decay, joy and sorrow. By recognizing these natural rhythms, we can better accept the ups and downs of life without becoming overly attached to any particular state. For instance, when we experience a setback, instead of resisting or lamenting it, we can see it as part of the natural ebb and flow of life. This perspective helps us to let go of our need for things to be a certain way and to embrace the fluidity of life's journey. By aligning ourselves with nature, we cultivate a deeper sense of peace and resilience, knowing that we are part of something larger and that everything has its time and place. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Stoicism and the art of letting go. By embracing these timeless principles, you can learn to release what no longer serves you, live more fully in the present, and find a deeper sense of peace and freedom. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more content on Stoicism and mindful living. Together, we can continue on this journey towards inner tranquility and resilience. Until next time, remember to stay mindful, stay peaceful, and always keep the Stoic wisdom close to your heart.